is design pattern catalog. The continuation of first two units. Okay, mainly the first unit, whatever you study now, the continuation of that. So these are the topics to be covered in the module 3. You are going to study in detail about the pattern adapter, then bridge, composite, decorator, facade, flyweight and proxy. These are the most popular design patterns which are very important. So we are going to study in detail about all this. How many patterns we study here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 patterns in detail we are going to study. So before going to these actual patterns, let us see what is structural patterns. Fine. Structural patterns are concerned with how classes and objects are composed to form larger structures. So we know that we are going to have an interaction between two different classes or two different objects on that. So when I compose these classes and objects together, when they work together, so how is it I am going to perform a structural pattern? How the larger structure is composed with the help of different classes and objects. That is called as a structural pattern. So structural class patterns use inheritance to compose interfaces or implementations. The first unit we studied about two concepts. One is class inheritance and the other one is object composition. Here when we talk about structural class patterns, we always go for class inheritance. That means parent class is inherited to subclasses. So we usually use class inheritance instead of going for object composition. So what are structural patterns? Structural patterns, we are going to compose classes and objects into a large structure, and these are implemented using class inheritance. Following, so we come across different popular structural patterns. They are adapter, bridge, composite, decorator, facade. On the same adapter pattern is going to be explained with an example of a drawing editor. Okay, text drawing editor we will explain in detail. With the adapter pattern is explained with respect to this example. So by using the graphical elements, lines, polygons and text, we are going to explain how these lines, polygons and text are going to draw using a drawing editor into pictures and diagrams. So let us see what are the different objects or classes we come across. Mainly we first take an abstract class as a name, shape. Then I will go for a concrete class. From the shape I will subdivide. This is my parent class. Now I will inherit in this parent class into subclass into two things. One is line shape and polygon shape. I think in the previous unit you have studied, in the module 1 you have studied about the abstract class and concrete class. What is abstract class? It just defines the name of the problem to be solved. What is concrete class? There, whatever the problem is defined in abstract class, there you are going to provide the implementation part. So your shape is just an abstract class. Line shape and polygon shape are the concrete class, where I am going to solve the problem. The implementation part is given under this shapes. Fine. Geometric shapes like line shape and polygon shape are easy to implement. See, I have three things considered here. One is lines, then polygons and text. These two, the first two are very easy, whereas the last one, the third is little difficult to implement because it's a basic text editing involves. So this thing involves complicated screen update should be done and buffer management. The storage management is also to be taken care when I talk about the text. So we can do this in one of the two ways. I have two steps to be done. One is by inheriting shapes interface into text view. When I talk about text, I will interface. I will take a class, main class name as shape, and I will inherit this main class into a subclass, say text view. So by composing a text view instance within a text shape and implementing. That means what? I have a text shape as a concrete class. From there I am going to create an instance of text view, and then I will perform the implementation. So here you can see with respect to this diagram, I have a main class as drawing editor. I will go for an abstract class shape with these operations to be performed, bounding box and create manipulator. Now I will inherit this abstract class into two concrete class. What are those? I have line as a concrete class 1 and text shape as a concrete class 2. With the same type of operations I have taken. And what is it I will do according to the second step? Within the text shape I will go for a text view instance. I have created an instance. How is it you have studied now? Aggregation, delegation, that concept. The same thing. Otherwise, I will go for an additional class which is called text view, where with the what is that operation I have taken? Get in extend. So with this operation, I will perform some implementation here. What is that? I have two steps here. One is return text. Whatever I have done, that document is going to be returned, Word or Excel, whatever. Then return new text manipulator. Once I finish doing that, I will go for the next step, which is create manipulator. Is that clear? Drawing editor is the main class. I will go for a abstract class name shape. Then I will go for a concrete class line and text shape. When I talk about text shape, I will go for an additional class name which is text view where I will perform the implementation part using written text and use where this adapter pattern can be used. You want to use an existing class, that means whichever we will take as an existing class, and its interface is not what you needed, but interface will not match our requirement. You have already a class is available, but you need to, what you can reuse that. So second step, what is it I can do? You want to create a reusable class that cooperates with the incompatible classes. When I want to have interaction between two incompatible classes, then I will go for adapter pattern. So I have an existing class, I will reuse it. So you need to use several subclasses, say object adapter only, by adapting to their interfaces by subclassing each subclass. That's what abstract class, it is going to be interface into subclasses. Abstract class is a parent class, what I will consider, and concrete class I will take it as a subclass. So which is impractical. An object adapter can adapt the interface of their parent class, same thing. Fine, shape is known as an abstract class, whereas that is known as a parent class, whereas line and the polygon what we discussed now, that is considered as a subclass. So moving to the next section, structure. A class adapter uses multiple inheritance to adapt one interface to another. I'll take a class name as adapter. I'm going to take whatever the necessary classes now, abstract class, all that, to complete the structure of the class shown below. Let us see what are the different classes we come across here with respect to structure. I'll take a main class name as client. Now I will define the abstract class for this as a target with the operation request. I will also go for another abstract class which is called adaptee. Two different classes I have, adaptee as a one of the class and target as another class. These two are incompatible classes, two different types of classes, different operations. Here it performs just a request, a specific request. Fine. Now, how is it I will provide interaction between two? I'll go for a mixing class now. I have another class which is adapter. Fine, like a concrete class only it is. Fine. Adapter I am going to add a implementation part. What is that implementation I will do? Whatever is specified in the adapter, that operation is performed with respect to the adapter. So this is the implementation done with the help of the adapter. These two are going